What's up, y'all? My name is JR, and for those of you who don't already know, I'm a huge movie and TV nerd. If you're new here, I appreciate you taking the time to check out my channel. I hope you'll consider sticking around and joining the film community I'm trying to build here on YouTube. So, in today's video, I'm going to be giving my no spoiler reaction and review for Five Nights at Freddy's. And I wasn't originally going to make a YouTube video about this movie, I'll admit. I had originally just planned to write up a no spoiler review for my website, themadscreenwriter.com. But as I sat and I watched this film, I kind of started to feel like I needed to share some of my deeper thoughts about the movie. So here we are. And with that being said, no more wasting time. Let's get into it. So, Five Nights at Freddy's is an American supernatural horror film based on the video game series and franchise of the same name, created by Scott Cawthon. The film was directed by Emma Tammy, who co-wrote the screenplay with Cawthon and Seth Kudbak, from a story by Cawthon, Chris Hill, and Tyler McIntyre. The film stars Josh Hutcherson as a troubled security guard who accepts a nighttime job at an abandoned family entertainment center where he discovers its 4 animatronic mascots come alive and are prone to murder. And it also stars Elizabeth Lail, Piper Rubio, Mary Stuart Masterson, and Matthew Lillard appearing in supporting roles. Five Nights at Freddy's was released on Peacock on October 26, 2023, which, if I'm being completely honest, is the only reason I even saw it, because right now there's just too many other films that I have interest in that are coming out at the box office over the next few weeks to fit into my movie-going schedule. But the film was also theatrically released in the United States the following day by Universal Pictures, and, like I said, though the film has received some negative reviews from critics, the audience reception has been generally positive, and the film is already a box office success, having grossed over $136 million worldwide so far off a $20 million budget. And, the film is still number 1 at the box office now, and this is week 2. So that's something. Now, the film currently has an abysmal Rotten Tomatoes score of 29%, and that's based on 178 reviews. But the audience score is much higher at 88%, based on over 1,000 verified audience ratings. It has an equally awful 33 on Metacritic, based on 38 critic reviews, but again, the user score is an 8.0, based on almost 1,400 user ratings. And finally, the movie holds a middling 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb with over 50,000 reviews. So again, it appears as though the critics hate the film, but the audience, likely fans of the video game, seem to like it a lot. Now, I'll start my personal reaction and review by admitting that I've never played the video game this movie is based upon. It came along long after I had retired from that kind of thing. I'll also admit that despite the fact that I could still see the premise of this movie working. I remember as a kid going to like Sergeant Singer's Pizza Palace and Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. And the animatronic puppets were charming from a distance, while you're stuffing your face with pizza and soda with your family and friends. But if you ever walked up on them and peeked under the curtain, especially when they were in the off position and all the lights were turned off on the stage, they were absolutely creepy as hell. And to me, that's all the film really needed. Possessed animatronics killing people that wandered into the abandoned entertainment center. But it tries to go so much further than that. And it's during the process of overreaching where I think the writers made some pretty big narrative mistakes. The biggest one being completely unnecessary backstory of the main character, which did little more than add about 20 unnecessary minutes to the film. I have to say, I hated the casting of Matthew Lillard in this movie. Now, I'm pretty sure I know exactly why he was chosen to play the role that he plays in this film, but because this is a no spoiler review, I'll just leave it at that for now. And also, I think the PG-13 rating really hurt this film. Though I think because of the film's premise, the filmmakers expected a lot of smaller kids to come and see this film with their parents. So that's why I think they wanted to avoid the R rating. And speaking of ratings, my rating for this film is a 45%, or 4.5 if you're thinking in terms of Metacritic or IMDb score. Look, the writing here was abysmal, especially from a story standpoint. The movie is too long, mostly because the pacing sucks, especially at the beginning, and that's primarily because there are just too many story beats in the film that don't belong. And the acting just isn't enough to make up for all of that. Also, the movie isn't really scary, despite labeling itself a horror film. But I won't kill the movie for that because a lot of horror movies fail at being scary these days. And again, the animatronics do have a creep factor about them, so I guess that's something. Look, these video game adaptations tend to already come with a built-in audience. If they didn't, we wouldn't get movies based on them in the first place. But instead of catering to that built-in audience, say like Nintendo did with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, this movie wasted a lot of time taking itself way too seriously. No doubt in the hopes of winning over people it was simply never going to. And as a result, instead of getting a fun and campy creep show about possessed animatronics gone wild, we get a movie that was a bit of a chore to get through. My recommendation? Go to Peacock and pay the $11.99 for the month and watch this one from the comfort of your own home, especially if you have a couple of kids that are interested in seeing this too. You'll save a ton of money on snacks, and at least you'll have access to a bunch of other content on the streamer for the next 30 days. But what do you guys think? Have you seen Five Nights at Freddy's yet? If you have, do you think the movie was worth the watch? Or do you think it managed to let down both its built-in audience and those of us who were unfamiliar with the lore and were just looking for a well-executed horror film? Let me know in the comments. And for those of you who might be new to the channel, be sure to like and share this video. If you really like the content, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. Also, be sure to go and check out themadScreenwriter.com for more television and film reviews and info on my upcoming film projects. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I got screenplays to write. I'll catch y'all in the next video.